Welcome back to the Can't Stop Talking podcast. Today, we are going to talk about how to stop waiting for your manifestation. I know I say this every time, but I absolutely know for a fact that this is going to be everyone's favorite podcast episode I've ever done because I already wrote the script and I've cried like 3 times already. And we know that when I'm crying, that means that just gold is coming out. So I'm really, really excited for this episode. And what if the thing that you've been chasing this entire time is waiting for you to stop chasing it? What if your manifestation isn't being delayed because you're doing something wrong, but because you're putting your entire life on hold until it arrives? And what if the moment you stop waiting is the exact moment everything starts moving? Today, we are going to be talking about why waiting is secretly ruining your life, ruining your manifestations, and how to know if you're doing it, and the one shift that changed everything for me. And so I just got back from vacation with my whole family. We were celebrating my dad's 75th birthday, and I just had the best week ever. I was so present. I was so in the moment, like we were just so happy to be together. And because of that, I would be at the zoo and I would get, course sales for my presents course without having to do anything. I would be out to dinner and I would get a course sale. I would be just laughing at the pool with my family and someone would, sign up for one-on-one coaching, and all these things would come to me. And when I got back from the trip, it's funny because I did not even care about, my business doing well on this trip or anything like that. I truly was like, I just want to be so in this moment, spending time with my family, making memories that, will last me a lifetime. And there is a quote that changed the way that I see waiting, and I'm gonna cry. And there's a quote from the movie Mr. Church with Eddie Murphy, and it absolutely wrecked me. And this really hits home celebrating my dad's 75th birthday. Okay, I'm going to try and get it together for you guys. 75 years. That's how much time you get if you're lucky. 75 years, 75 winters, 75 springtimes, 75 summers, and 75 autumns. When you look at it like that, it's not a lot of time, is it? Don't waste them. Get your head out of the rat race and forget about the superficial things that preoccupy your existence and get back to what's important now, right now, this very second. And I'm not saying drop everything and let the world come to a grinding halt. I'm saying that you could become a seeker. You could be loving more. You could be taking some chances. You could be living more. You could be spending more time with your family. You could be getting in touch with the part of you that lives instead of fears, the part of you that loves instead of hates, the part of you that recognizes the humanity in all of us. And I tell you, that's where you're fortunate. And when I read that quote, it's like, holy shit, 75 summers. 75 summers to feel the sun on our skin, to laugh until your stomach hurts, to watch sunsets, to spend time with the people you love. And how many of those moments are you spending not actually being there? Checking your phone, refreshing your bank account, wondering if it's working, obsessing over what we don't have, waiting for our lives to begin. So many of us are thinking that they're living, but they're actually in the waiting room of their life. They're constantly waiting for something outside of them to come and save them, to come and finally be the reason that they stop waiting and they start living. They're like, when this happens, then I'll be happy. When I make $1 million, then I'll be happy. When I meet my soulmate, then I'll be happy. When I lose, 50 pounds, then I'll be happy. Then I'll stop waiting and I will start living my life. They put conditions in between them and actually living. But the truth is, this is your life right now, right? The coffee you're drinking right now, the ordinary Tuesday, the walk outside, the conversation with someone you love. This is it. This moment is your life. And if your mind is always in the future or stuck in the past, you miss it. You miss the peace, you miss the beauty, you miss the life you're trying so hard to improve. And when you put your life on hold, you put your manifestations on hold too. And you're probably like, well, how do I know, right? If I'm waiting for my manifestation, what are the signs? Well, the signs are, one, you're constantly checking for evidence, right? You decide that you're going to manifest something and then you check your phone, you check your bank account, you check your messages, you check your follower account, you check to see if you got that text message, you check to see if it's working, right? Two, you feel like your life hasn't started yet. You secretly believe my life begins when this happens. Three, you can't relax until you get it. You tell yourself, I'll finally feel peace when XYZ thing arrives. And then you get XYZ thing and you then move the goalpost again and says, well, it's not until I get the next XYZ thing, right? Four, you're mentally living in the future. Your body is here, but your mind is always asking, when is it coming? Why isn't it here yet? What if it never happens? And five, the most important, you're missing the present moment. You're with friends, but you're distracted. You're at dinner, but you're mentally, checking all the tabs that are open in your brain. You're on vacation and you wake up and you go to the pool with your family, but you're thinking about, that hike that you're going to do later or what you're going to do tomorrow or checking in for your flight. And like I said, you're on vacation, but you're worrying about, for example, your work or everything else that you have to do when you get back home. Life is happening and your mind isn't there to experience it. And why does waiting also create anxiety? Anxiety is often a result of mentally living in a future that doesn't exist yet. You are trying to control something that hasn't happened. You are rehearsing scenarios. You're obsessing over outcomes. And meanwhile, your body is here, but your mind is not. And peace becomes available the second you come back to now. Because the present moment is the only place your life is actually happening. And so I was having so much anxiety before I really realized that, worrying is a choice. You have the choice to worry, or you can come back to this present moment, right? The only place that you can breathe, the only place you can feel love, the only place that you can make decisions, the only place that you can manifest. And so where people go wrong with manifestation, and this is where I think almost everyone goes wrong, is they think the magic is in the technique, right? They think if I script enough, if I affirm enough, if I visualize perfectly, if I find the right manifestation method, then my desire will finally appear. But the truth is, it's never about the technique. It was always about you. Here's what most people do. They wake up and they think, okay, I need to do my affirmations. I need to script. I need to visualize. I need to do something so my manifestation comes faster. So they do the technique. They script, they affirm, they visualize, and for a few minutes, they feel amazing. They think, oh my God, it's happening. And then 5 minutes later, they grab their phone. Did they text me? Did I make a sale? Did my followers go up? Why isn't it here yet? Maybe I'm doing something wrong. Maybe I need another technique. And just like that, they're right back in the energy of, I don't have it. It's not here. Something is missing. I need this to happen before I can feel okay. That is lack. It was never about whether you scripted or affirmed or visualized correctly, right? It was never about whether you said enough affirmations. It was never about finding the perfect technique. Because the real question is, who are you being after the technique is over? Are you the version of you who already has it? Or are you the version of you anxiously checking every 5 minutes to see if it worked? Because those are two completely different identities. And the version of you who already has what you want, she's not obsessively checking. She's not wondering if she did the technique correctly. She's not asking, where is it? And so the question that you've had this whole episode is, how do you actually stop waiting? How do you stop waiting for your manifestation, right? And you're like, okay, Sam, I get it. I'm waiting. I'm checking out. I'm obsessing. I'm putting my life on hold. But how do I actually stop? And the answer is incredibly simple. Presence. Because waiting only exists in your mind. Waiting is your mind projecting into the future and asking, when is it coming? Why isn't it here yet? What if it never happens? But when you come back to this moment, there's nothing to wait for. In this exact second, you are breathing, you are alive, you are okay. Nothing is missing right now. And when you genuinely feel that, everything changes. And that is why presence is the real manifestation cheat code. When you are fully present, you are no longer focused on what's missing. Because lack is only happening in your mind. You are no longer mentally chasing something in the future. And here's the thing, if you are constantly chasing something, manifestation's like a mirror. You're always going to be chasing, right? When you are here, you are breathing, living, enjoying this moment. And from that place, you naturally become the person who already has what you want. Because if you already had what you wanted, you wouldn't be asking yourself, how am I going to get it? Why is it not here yet? You wouldn't be chasing. You wouldn't be living in the future, thinking the future is better than your present moment. You would, if I truly gave you everything that you wanted, and I ask my audience this a lot of the times, and they will comment, and I'll be like, if I truly gave you everything that you wanted, and you woke up tomorrow and you had everything that you wanted, what would you do? And there were so many people respond, and they're like, I would probably just take a nap. I'd be so overwhelmed that I would just take a nap. And so what does that tell me? They finally let themselves relax. They finally let themselves do the thing that they wanted to do, nap, right? And so that's the thing. It's like, that is what manifests, not the technique, you, your identity, your energy, your state, your presence. Because when you are fully in this present moment, you are saying that this moment is enough. You're no longer waiting for anything. And like I said, manifestation is a mirror. When you stop waiting, then your life stops being on hold. Because if you truly had everything that you wanted and you started living as if you already had everything that you wanted, then everything would come to you. And so the biggest manifestation shift is that the goal is not to get your manifestation so that you can finally relax. The goal is to relax first. The goal is to become the version of you who no longer feels like life is on hold, because the version of you who already has what you want, she's not stuck. She's not checking every 5 minutes. She's not obsessing. She's not wondering if it's working. They're living. They're enjoying their life. They're trusting. They feel whole. When you feel whole, you are no longer going to look for anything outside of yourself. Because why are we wanting anything in this life? We want anything for the feeling that it will give us, right? We want all those things, all of our manifestations, so that we can finally stop waiting and be in this present moment and enjoy our life. But so many people fuck this up. They waste their whole life waiting to feel a certain way, waiting to be present. When the cheat code is, if you just became present right now, everything you were waiting for would literally find you, would start chasing you. And I mean, if this isn't evidence enough, I'll leave the link to the $27 presence course below, and you can look at the success stories on there, because I get success stories every single day from the women and men who started, adding presence into their manifestation routine, who made presence their manifestation routine. And when they did that, everything that they were trying to get came into their life. And so on top of that, though, it's not about the manifestations, because presence gives you so much more than that. It gives you your life back. It gives you peace of mind. It gives you less anxiety, less overthinking, better relationships, more creativity, clearer intuition, more joy, faster manifestations. Like, I was with my nephew this weekend, and it felt so good not to have to check my phone and just play with my nephew and see the world through his eyes. You start to feel like a little kid again when you get present, because you're no longer glued to your phone, and you're finally using your 5 senses and seeing the world through a new light, like you've never seen it before, because you've been so busy in the future, in the past, glued to your devices. And because of that, when you're in this present moment, you also have faster manifestations. And like my relationships have gotten so much better because when you are present with someone and like someone's having a conversation with you and you are present and you're not thinking about what you're going to eat tomorrow, what you're going to do, or you're not thinking about like, I need to check my phone, or you're not on your phone and you're present and you're actually giving them that undivided attention. Oh my God, people just fall deeper and deeper in love with you, and your relationships get deeper, and it changes them too. They can feel that presence inside of you. And so you realize the real reward, I can't even say that, the real reward, you realize the real reward isn't just getting what you want. It's becoming someone who feels deeply at peace right now. And because of that, in return, you get everything you want. And so imagine spending your entire life waiting to be happy, waiting to feel enough, waiting to relax, waiting to start living. And then one day you realize this moment was the life. This cup of coffee, this sunset, this laugh with your best friend, this random Thursday afternoon, this was what mattered. And if your mind is always somewhere else, you're going to miss it. You're going to blink and it's going to be over. And if you're like, I still want those things, I still want to be a millionaire, I still want to lose the weight, I still want to be in love, you're going to get all those things. But if you do that from a place of like trying and hustling, it's going to take longer, but also you're going to get all those things, because I've heard this over and over again from the most successful people on earth. You're going to get all those things and it's not going to fill the void. Yes, money solves money problems, right? But it doesn't solve internal problems, because we all feel this way. I mean, celebrities say it the most. They have the most mental health issues because they get everything they wanted and they realize it was never enough. It was never about those things. It was never the materialistic. It was never about getting the things in the world. It was about living in this moment. And that's why I always think about, the kids in Africa who have nothing, who you see videos of just smiling and, loving their lives. And, they're playing on dirt roads and they have nothing, but they're so happy because they're living in this present moment. And so the shift is asking yourself, what would the version of me who already has everything do right now, right? Would she relax, trust, enjoy this moment, stop checking? Would she be living? And from that place, everything will come to you. The right action becomes obvious, not forced, not frantic, just natural. And so the final takeaway is stop treating your life like a waiting room. Your manifestation is not the beginning of your life. Your life is already here. Yes, the money will be amazing. Yes, the relationship will be amazing. Yes, the followers will be exciting, or whatever else you're manifesting. But none of that matters if you miss the present moment, because this moment is your life. And when you fully enter it, everything begins to chase you. And so what if nothing is missing? What if your life is already here? And what if the moment you stop waiting is the moment everything changes? And so I wanted to leave you with a message that someone sent me who bought the Presence course last week. And she said, "Hi, I have to admit, I was very skeptical at first, but I'm really loving it. The way you designed the course is easy to understand, and it actually feels like the missing piece I've been trying to figure out for the last few years. I stayed present just to try it out and listening to some modules of the course, and I have to say, I can't remember the last time my mind felt so at peace. Normally it's racing, everywhere at once, all the time, and this moment of peace was worth every penny. I still have some modules to listen to, but I can already feel how much of an impact this is going to have on my life." And I leave this message because I wanted to say, I've been tricking you guys. I've been tricking you guys by letting you know that presence is the cheat code to manifestation. But I've just been doing that to lure you guys in, because the truth is, it's so much bigger than that. Presence isn't just the cheat code to manifestation. It's the cheat code to life.